All right. So, today, what I want to do is I want to talk about the California fires. And uh, a lot of people like to, blow things out of proportion when it comes to the conspiratorial side of things. The whole mismanagement of the forests, whether California should get more government funding. Look, it doesn't matter how it happened. What matters is how are you going to stop it in the future? How are you going to do it? That's what you should be trying to figure out. Now, the one thing I can tell you is there have been a lot of speculation about directed energy weapons, blah blah blah. Look, it's not directed energy weapons. Okay. First of all, even if the UV light was from some type of laser or electromagnetic, you would be able to see it to the extent that it it would there would be some type of spontaneous combustion or something like that. But the point is, California, for one, they don't really they don't really know what they're doing. First of all, they have tons of money that they spend on giving themselves bonuses, when what they should be doing is managing their infrastructure, and they're not doing it. So, here is here's a picture of an Indian tribe, and what they're doing is the rain dance. Yep, trying to make rain by stomping on the ground. Seems kind of crazy, but the reality is it works. How does it work? Well, it says here, rainmaking is a weather modification ritual that attempts to invoke rain. Now, the first question you have to ask yourself, how do you make rain? How do you make rain? Okay? Well, you make rain by introducing some small particles into the air. Okay? What did we just have in California? We had a shit ton of small particles in the form of ash introduced to the air. These small particles are referred to as cloud condensation nuclei, or as they call it, cloud seeds. Small particles, typically 0.2 unit of measure, I don't know what that is, micrometer, or 1/100th the size of a cloud droplet, on which water vapor condenses. Water requires a non-gaseous gaseous surface to make the transition excuse me, from vapor to a liquid. This process is called condensation in the atmosphere. This surface presents itself as tiny solid or liquid particles called CCNs. When no cloud condensation nuclei are present, water vapor can be supercooled at about 13 degrees Celsius or 8 degrees Fahrenheit for 5 to 6 hours before droplets spontaneously form. So basically what I'm trying to say is there's going to be a shit ton of rain in California. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. It could be a controlled rain. It could be fine. But considering the size of the fire, it's a possibility that there are too many cloud seeds for it to rain. So hopefully they didn't fuck themselves 2 ways to Sunday with this fire. This is a picture of all the fires that have happened in California since 2013. Yeah, that's a lot. The one that just happened is this one right here. This campfire. The one that happened last year was a Mendocino fire. This Woosley fire happened, and then I think the Hill fire happened last year. It's a very small fire, but this, basically was it. And the Mendocino complex, I mean, look at that. That's ridiculous. And then the car fire was absolutely horrendous. And then the campfire. Campfire ain't nothing. The only problem is it had a lot of shit that was very, it lasted longer. It produced more smoke, more thick, black smoke. So, there's that. Now, let me see something here real quick. I want to show you this. So, as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, cloud seeding is the act of putting a nuclei into the air in order for rain to fall, and they've been doing this since the 1940s. This image, this infographic that I am going to be showing you guys shortly. Excuse me. Is from a gentleman by the name of Jim Lee. Now, Jim Lee, I highly suggest that you go look at his research. It is the most comprehensive guide to weather modification on the internet. But this is an infographic that he put together. It basically shows you the traditional method for cloud seeding. So it shows an airplane dropping basically silver iodide or other substances into the atmosphere, cloud cover containing water droplets, basically absorb the chemicals and then condensate on them and fall. Right? In a nutshell, put a bunch of shit into the moisture clouds, then you have yourself some rain. Now, the new method is ion generation. And basically, it's the same concept. The only difference is you introduce a negatively charged ion. The ions allow the nuclei to survive longer, giving water droplets more time to grow. This supposedly is one in Abu Dhabi. it says when the relative humidity at the ground reaches 30% or more, the emitters are switched on. So the emitters are switched on. So and this is also why, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there's been like large size hail in like Saudi Arabia and all these other countries, because they didn't realize that if a cold front came in and these things turned on and they don't turn off because the humidity never changes, you have giant hail. And kind of crazy. It's the same reason why it happens down in Texas. So Texas has a very large hail because they have to squeeze as much water as they can out of the atmosphere in the Gulf of Mexico in order to frack. So there is that. Now, on the topic of firefighting, this would be a very good way, even though I don't like it because it's weather modification and it has to do with high power electrical antennas. It's probably not the best idea, but it is a possibility of potentially fighting fires. Now, I am going to show you a small video, and actually, unfortunately, I'm going to have to only play the audio for you guys because I don't want YouTube to copyright strike me. They probably will anyways, but actually, I'm just gonna play it. Hang on a second.
Some super cool stuff. In my crazy world, I also work in rockets. So this is two satellites we deployed from the International Space Station that are taking data from farmland every single day over 24 hours. And this is actually a company called Planet Labs. And what they do is things that really will blow your mind. So if you look at this red, this is infrared using a way to capture the biomass of a field. So if you're a farmer, every single day now, you can find out this is heavy biomass, this is probably ready to be harvested. This one needs a little bit more work. And maybe a little bit more water, a little bit more time.
A little bit more water and a little bit more time. What he has just explained to me is that there is a satellite capable of telling you where you should probably cut back, thin out, so on and so forth. This is probably one of the most impeccable tools that you could ever use as a firefighter. You want to help fight fires? Here you go. Start cutting out the areas that show, basically that they're dying and that they are, completely starved of water and they're dry and they're a fire hazard. Now, I'm going to finish the rest of this and then I will continue.
Every single day, that data is now passed to the farmer. As a software engineer, as a data scientist, what can you do with that data? It will blow you away.
Okay. So, how is it that they're not using this for fire management, first of all? And second of all, how and what do we have to do in order to get firemen among other government officials these tools in order to prevent what has happened not only this year but the year before, and I'm pretty sure the year before that. There's been about a fire every year for the past, I don't know, what was it, 7 years? Since 2013. Okay? Obviously, some of the 2013 ones weren't very big, but still. Okay? You're looking at fires every year for 7 years. Or, excuse me, 6 years. People died, homes were burnt, businesses were lost, vehicles were melted. And there are tools at our disposal in terms of not necessarily, as a country or even a state, but as humanity, these things need to be brought to people's attention. And those who reject the ideas of change and progress, and I'm not talking about no social justice warrior progress, I'm talking about real progress for humanity, logical progress, not which, what does the sign on the bathroom have to say in order for it not to offend somebody? I don't care about that. It means nothing. Not only does it mean nothing to me, but it should mean nothing to most people who actually give a damn about the future of humanity. Okay? In order for us to become strong, we have to be strong. And I know that sounds redundant and ridiculous, but it's the truth. If you want to go to the gym and you want to work out, you don't go to the store and buy ice cream and sit and watch TV. Okay? If you want to be physically fit and you want to be healthy, you go to the gym. You have to do it, or you won't be healthy or fit. It's the same thing with the whole forest management system or situation we got going on here in California. You think that we wanted this to happen? Nobody wanted this to happen, right? But nobody wanted to do anything about preventing this from happening. And instead of trying to blame Donald Trump, and instead of Donald Trump trying to blame California, we should have learned our lesson by now. Do you understand what I'm saying? Over the last 6 years, we should have taken some kind of steps, an evaluation of our terrain, of our state of California. We have the money. We have the technology. For fuck's sakes, we got Silicon Valley. You don't think that there could have been some startup company that you could have paid a couple $1 million to do this? Of course you could. Of course you can. California is being mismanaged. It's too big. If it were up to me, I would highly recommend that it breaks itself into pieces. I think that you should, even though I don't like the idea of expanding government, I think that the idea of reducing the control, the centralized powers of California, because that's what's happening. You have the entire West Coast who is controlled literally by like 6 people, and they have completely screwed it up. They've completely mismanaged not just the forest, but the state. And I pray to God that they get their shit together, because I do not know what is going to happen to this state in the next couple of years. It is up to us. It is up to the people of California to get your shit together and fix this broken hell that we call a State of the Union. That's all I have to say.